Welcome to another in the series of the simple yet effective project management courses. And today we are going to be looking at methodologies and frameworks. Right, so let's see what you're going to take away in terms of learning from this course. So first of all, we're going to look at methodologies and frameworks and how they work within a project management context. You're going to understand how a project lifecycle works. You're going to understand the role of stage gating in project management. And then we are going to see some examples of methodologies and frameworks. Right, so let's look at what a methodology is in the first instance. So when you look at a methodology, the thing to bear in mind is that it's a more defined way of doing things. So it's a bit more precise when it comes up with the processes and the templates and the roles. And then you have what is called a framework. And the focus really is about providing adaptable sets of guidelines that can be tailored to the project and its environment. Now, what you're going to find in reality is that some people will call something a methodology and some people will call something a framework, and then there's a bit of an interchange as well. Now, I've used both words because I didn't really want to split hairs between whether something was a methodology and something was a framework. Believe me, there is that discussion going on in the project management environment. But for me, that's not really the bone of contention. The bone of contention for a project management professional is to be able to come across a particular way of doing things. Whether or not it's a methodology or framework is not really the point. The point is, have I come across a particular way of doing things? So have I come across the Scrum process, for instance? Do I understand it? Will it work for my project? Whether or not it's a methodology or a framework is not really important to me at that point in time. That's something that probably will leave for the academics to work out. So essentially, a methodology is more detailed in terms of how things are done, more prescriptive, and a framework tends to be loose. And I think I'll leave it to you to decide when you come across a particular methodology or framework where you think it stands. But essentially, when you come across these ways of doing things, do you understand them? Can they be applied to your project? Will they work for you? That's the most important thing. So what do we use methodologies and frameworks for in project management? So they are used to manage projects or programs. Now, the thing to point out also here is that they are used interchangeably. Like I said in the previous slide, don't dwell too much on whether something is a methodology or framework. Dwell mostly on understanding what it is and understanding if it can work for your particular project. Like, for instance, agile methodologies or frameworks tend to work better with software projects or technology projects, projects that you're starting from the problem statement and working your way towards a solution, and as such you need an iterative and incremental way of delivering things. So the agile methodologies and frameworks work better for those type of projects. And when you think about what methodologies and frameworks consist of, they consist of processes, templates, activities, and some of them even consist of role profiles. And all of this is just aimed to get your project from A to Z.